Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough. We are at the final resting place, and basically, it's the end of the game. So while we could go immediately into the final boss, and I think in most circumstances I would do, that's not what I'm going to do. Because basically I want to unlock final form, I want to get ultimate weapon, I would just like to kind of cover just the final batch of things that need to be covered before we do that. So basically from this part 66 up until part 69, I think it is. Yeah. We are basically just covering last important things. And basically what I'm doing at the minute is the way of basically scumming your way to getting final form. Because whenever you go to the Altar of Naught, where your party members are walking around, you go back to normal Sora, and you keep a full drive gauge, which then means that you can immediately go into a form when you come back into this area. Just as a tip, don't battle the enemies. Just go into form and run. Also, it's final form! As I said, it's completely by luck. And I just love it. It's probably, well, it is my favourite form in the entire game. Because, I mean, just look at it! I mean, Sora's white outfit looks amazing, and the Keyblades are flying around, and it's just stunning. It's also insanely powerful, and just glorious. It's by far the best form in the game. I mean, considering it's called Final Form, it says everything. But the other really awesome, amazing thing about Final Form is that when you go into it, you basically have no chance of going into anti-form. So using that drive can't screw you over. And there's also the really awesome thing of the fact that it reduces the so basically whenever you go into anti-form, you basically increase your chances of getting anti-form again. I can't quite remember what the calculations are, but it's slightly complicated and irritating. What Final Form does is that it reduces that counter to 0. So you are very unlikely to be going into anti-form when you choose another form, which is very awesome. Also, we are leaving the world that never was because we've got to do the Colosseum. Well, the Underdome. Because I want to get Ultimate Weapon, and to get Ultimate Weapon, you need Orichalcum Pluses. Now, we've already got, I believe, pretty much most, if not all of them, that we can physically get. But the one that I haven't gotten is in the Underdome. And basically, you get that through okay, now we've got 2 more Orichalcum Pluses to get. But one of them is from the Colosseum. And it's a pain in the backside. Massive pain. Because basically you need to complete all 4 of the main cups. I can't remember whether you need to complete one of the Paradox Cups, which unlock after that. But it's still irritating. Also, the really, really frustrating thing about all of this is that while the first 3 cups are really easy, and I do mean that seriously, like Pain and Panic Cup, Cerberus Cup and Titan Cup are so easy. The Goddess of Fate Cup, which unlocked afterwards, however, is not. That is a pain. But either way, so, well, basically, in the Colosseum, all of the cups have their own special rules, which really annoyingly makes things far more frustrating than they need to be when you get to the Paradox Cups. So for this one, you can't go into any drive forms, which is fine, that's not a problem. But some of the stipulations later on are just ridiculous. And it was frustrating when I got to this, because I think at this point I did want to just finish the game, but then I was just like, I want Ultimate Weapon, because I don't know whether I had ever unlocked Ultimate Weapon. I think I might have done. But it's like, it's a wonderful Keyblade. But like, I wanted to show this sort of stuff off. But then it wasn't quite as a nice process as I would have liked. Like, the Colosseum in the original Kingdom Hearts is a far, far, far superior Colosseum, because it doesn't introduce any really stupidly gimmicky elements. So you basically just go through it with Donald and Goofy, go through it on your own, and go through it with Donald and Goofy but timed, which all provide different challenges, but it makes sense, and it's a test of skill. What the Kingdom Hearts 2 Colosseum starts to do is introduce time limits on certain floors of things, like certain rounds of things. Introduce things like you can't get hit, and so like this, you must survive until the time runs out. It's not a problem here because you're only facing off against these guys. But like, I mean, I think it's in the Goddess of Fate Cup. Basically, you've only got so many hits, which is a very dangerous thing. And very hard, and with some of the enemy selections that they go with, it's not fair. I mean, it's fun to destroy so many Heartless, but it's still just kind of like, not a fan, if I'm honest. Also, although they seem endless, they're not, so it's either kill all of them or survive until the end. Also, zero gravity. It's wonderful. An absolute godsend. You're going to want to start using magic in this, because it's going to allow you to get through things that would otherwise be really frustrating. Also, we have a fight against Yuffie and Leon. The really cool thing about this Colosseum is that, pretty much like the original Colosseum, you get to face off against the Final Fantasy characters. So, you get to fight off against Yuffie and Leon. There are rounds where you get Cloud. I'm pretty sure there are rounds where you get Tifa. And I believe one of the hardest challenges in the game is in one of the Paradox Cups, I think. And basically you have to face off against Leon, Yuffie, Tifa and Cloud all at the same time. I don't think I will be showing that one off. I mean, it might be, but it's a pain. Also, one of the primary frustrations I had with getting Ultimate Weapon, which this is okay, it's not a problem, but then the hunt for some of the items is just... ugh. You're going to get to experience some of it, I believe, either in the next part or the part after that. And yeah, I think it is the next part, because for a variety of reasons, which I will explain. So, for this cup, you are under a time limit. Or at least, each mission has a time limit to it. So, gotta be quick and on the ball. It's not too hard. I mean, especially considering the recommended level is 28, which explains everything, really. Also, feel free to use forms, because I mean, I think that's kind of what you're expected to do. Because, I mean, you're on your own, and forms just kind of get you through things a lot quicker. And also just look so cool whilst you're doing it. Now, something that I will point out now is that basically, if you want to synthesize everything in the game, then basically there's a guide on the internet which has got a list of the total amount of items you need to synthesize everything. So it's like you need 4 blazing shards, 4 blazing stones, 2 blazing gems, 6 blazing crystals, and all that jazz. And basically there are ways that if you want to increase your chances of getting items, then make sure you equip Lucky Lucky and a variety of other things. So like, use Sweet Memories from 100 Acre Wood, the Meteor Staff is a good one, and the Genji Shield, and also get the Lucky Ring, and basically all of those put together give you more things to get. Also, we have to face on Cerberus. Shouldn't be too hard. Especially with Final Form! Final Form just wrecks stuff. It's wonderful. So close to defeating Cerberus just with one drive form. So frustrating that I couldn't, but oh well! It was glorious whilst it lasted.
We did it!
So there we go. We have the Cerberus Cup. And I think I'm just gonna use that magic boost. Just make Sora even more godly. Because he's going insane. So now at this point, sort of, to get the final cup you need to complete all of the others. And also, the ultra glorious thing with Final Form is when you have Oblivion and Oathkeeper at the same time. It's just wonderful. Also, I will be going through all the journal stuff, as I said. But yeah, there's a lot to cover here, and it's going to take us a while when we do get to the extras. But I just want to have a look at these sorts of things. I think it's something that I was doing at the end of every world. I've just kind of cut out most of it. It's just these ones which I think I've just got lazy. But it's very easy to complete stuff very quickly. And I believe at this point we do have all of the Ansem reports, which is awesome. Also, there is one of these which we will always be missing, and that will be Aladdin's, which is really depressing. But you didn't miss out on much, don't worry. And we will be solving the missing gap here, don't worry. Everything will be reasonably complete-ish. Apart from mini-games. By the end. So here we go, it's time for the Titan Cup. And the gimmick for this is that you get to use summons. And because you get to use them, you most definitely should. Now, there's the gimmick of, if you get hit, you lose points. But the glorious thing is, because you get to use your summons, they essentially prevent you from taking damage. And you are going to want to use them so much. Because it just makes things so much easier. And you just wreck stuff. Although, having said that, there is one summon in particular that you will want to use more than anything else, and that is Genie's final form. Because just the amount of damage that thing can do is ridiculous. And it is better than any blooming drive form in this point. Also, I will be using every single summon, I believe, during this, so don't worry. If you haven't seen the stuff before, you'll get to see it now. I'm slightly disappointed that there are only 4 summons in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, kind of would have slightly wanted more, but it didn't happen. Well, having said that, I think it was for this game, but they were going to have Woody and Buzz from Toy Story be summons in Kingdom Hearts 2, and there are still kind of very basic models of them in the game's code. So, at least for Kingdom Hearts 3, there is certainly hope that we will get Pixar in some form in it, which will be really awesome. Although I have to say, it's going to be interesting to see which Pixar films they go with, if they do go with any at all. I think the main ones of interest in terms of unique opportunities for bosses and designs would be Toy Story, The Incredibles, Monsters Inc. I'd say they kind of fit the bill for the most suited to Kingdom Heartsification. Finding Nemo and Up and stuff I don't think would quite work. Also, I think it may be that after this point I do just use Genie all the way through. I mean, he's evidently the best summon ever. And as I believe I explained earlier, basically when you summon him, he will be in a random form. And you can change it using the drive thing, but if you can get him into final, do so, because nothing will stand a chance at all. I don't know what I was doing, to be honest, here. Just, I think the insanity got to me. Also, this is just very amusing just to see them all like that. Just floating in the air, just getting hits randomly. Doesn't really do anything other than damage to them, which is what you want it to do. I'm not quite sure where this sentence is going, but it just looks so funny. But, I mean, even with all the potential damage that you can take during this, this is not the difficult bit. The difficult bit is the next mission. Well, the next cup, I should say. But here we go. Genie's back, and this time in Master Form. Which is also awesome. I mean, I believe that the worst Genie form is either Wisdom or Valor. I think it's Wisdom. Wisdom's just generally rubbish in everything. But, I mean, as you can see, Final just decimates everything. It's like so overpowered that just nothing stands a chance, really. I mean, it makes sense considering how difficult and luck-based it is to get Final Form. But the payoff once you've got it is just outstanding. And I just wish that I could have gotten it when I first played the game. Because, as I said, the only time that I ever unlocked it was during the final boss, and at that point, you can't keep it. Which is just like, no! I want to keep it because it's glorious! But no, you're not allowed. Also, we're very nearly there. We're at the semi-finals. I'd be very, very, very glad when we get to the wonders that are... well, wonder that is the final boss, because I haven't really got much to say about Kingdom Hearts 2 anymore, which is something I really shouldn't be admitting, because you've got another batch of parts to listen to me blathering over. But You get what I mean. Like, I love this game for all its flaws. I mean, it's a great game, and it's a lot of fun. And it does make me angry these days, for a variety of reasons, which, as you can see, I think make perfect sense. But it just... There are certain things which I think it doesn't live up to what it should do anymore. And it does make me slightly worried for Kingdom Hearts 3 should they follow through with certain design decisions that they went with here. Because I think that they lessen the impact of a lot of things that are very close to me and are very close to a lot of people. So it's a very dangerous position to be in, and I think that they just need to be very careful with Kingdom Hearts 3 and make sure that it's right. Obviously it's all a matter of taste, but I do mean sort of people are going to be very emotionally invested in Kingdom Hearts 3, so it needs to be good to live up to the hype. I don't know whether it ever will, and whether the hype is just going to be too much for it, but I think that there is hope. Just about. Anywho, here we go. We have the Titan Cup. And with that, we unlock the Goddess of Fate Cup. Which didn't go too well the first time I played it. So basically, what the plan is for the next part, I think, is to go on a lovely trek around the world picking up the synthesis items that we need to get Ultima Weapon. So look forward to that. Because I'm not. Having said that, it's really not as bad as it could have been. Because I could have been searching for hours, and it's nowhere near that. But oh, so close. I got good scores on Pain and Panic and Cerberus Cups, but nope. Just got screwed over on the Titan one. Oh well. Anyway, time to move forward. Let's do this.